right, welcome back to Business AM, and as you can see, we have Ambrose in the studio. Ambrose, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Always a pleasure to have you around. Anyway, a lot of issues that are actually going on in the economy as we know of it right now, and even we speak of it right now. But one of the things that we're going to start with this morning is therefore Safaricom's reaction to a court case. Good. Now, Safaricom reacts. Now, telecoms operators, Safaricom, Airtel, and Telkom Kenya have reacted swiftly after lawyer and ICT practitioner Adrian Kamodo threatened to sue them and the industry regulator at the Communications and Multimedia Appeals Tribunal over the expiry of data and loss of unused internet bundles. Safaricom has introduced data bundles, calls, and SMS with no expiry date. According to a statement issued by the telecom, customers who dial *544# now have two options: data bundle with no expiry date and calls and SMS with no expiry date as well. Now, under the code, users will now be able to choose any amount to buy and also get 50% extra airtime for calls and SMS across all networks. The announcement comes after telecoms operators Safaricom, Airtel, and Telkom Kenya were sued over the expiry of data and loss of unused internet bundles. Now, lawyer and ICT practitioner Adrian Kamodo sued the firms and the industry regulator at the Communications and Multimedia Appeals Tribunal, saying he wants the three operators to be compelled to offer a service where subscribers can roll over unused data at no cost. Well, wow. If you're not celebrating, then you should be celebrating. But the conversation this morning that we should be asking therefore is, what a reaction. Ambrose?
I think we spoke about this last week.
Yes.
Because this happened in Ghana, when the Ghanaian ICT authority or the regulator
Yes.
Enforced a rule saying that there should be no expiry date on data and voice bundles.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, I said it before and I'll say it again, that we are this is a very absurd situation that we are in, and it's very sad because nobody buys data or voice bundles
Yes.
for the sake of buying them.
Yes.
They are not an investment tool where, like, you trade in shares, that I'm buying these data bundles,
Yes.
I keep them, speculate with the price, you know, have them as a store of wealth. People buy them to use them.
Yes.
No one will buy a 10 MB, a 10 GB, say, for example, data bundle just to keep it.
Yes.
Right? So it is very interesting that that the telcos have to be compelled to go this route. But I totally blame our regulator and the government
Yes.
by extension, because this should have been enforced from day one.
Yes.
Remember, like I've just said, you don't buy data bundles or voice bundles just for fun or to keep them.
Yes.
They are actually a factor of production, because, you know, with information right now is actually the fifth factor of production.
Yes.
And without information, without market information, the cost of doing business goes very high.
Yes.
You know, and even at Metropole, you see what Metropole does. It gives you prices of commodities, say in Mombasa,
Yes.
in Nakuru,
Yes.
in Kisumu, in Kericho, and probably you'll find, say, a bag of tomatoes in Kisumu is say 4,000 shillings theoretically, and
Yes.
maybe in Kericho is 2,000.
Yes.
And Kericho and Kisumu are only 1 hour apart. So you are able to load your tomatoes if you are a trader in Kericho and take it to Kisumu.
Yes.
Because you have this information. So information actually makes the economy to thrive. It actually makes business to be more effective and efficient.
Yes.
Now, if someone buys data and before they use it for the purpose they intended to use it, it has expired, then it defeats all this purpose. Remember, at times people get into very unfortunate situations. I buy bundles today, my phone gets lost, right? By the time I replace it, get a handset,
yes,
that data is gone.
Yes.
Maybe the other day I just bought bundles and then I had an assignment outside the country. Now you travel outside the country, you've lost.
Come back again, you've lost it, isn't it?
You've lost it. So it is very sad and it's very unfortunate. And also, this is not going to hit the telco's bottom line in any way.
Yes.
Because people use data for purposes.
Is it not going to really affect the way in which now Safaricom is actually going to factor in their earnings from data services? Because I think they've been factoring in the shorter periods where people really have to keep on buying because of this expiry date. Because if you look at what is pegged upon, because I think now these earnings actually are very impacted from the fact that, yes, it's going to expire and you're pretty much going to buy more and more. You pretty much have 24 hours to use whatever it is that you buy. Regardless of the fact that you use it or not, you pretty much have to buy again. Don't you think that their bottom line is now actually going to get affected by this ruling?
It's not. It's not going to get affected at all.
Yes.
Because people who buy these plans, say you are in one, you buy bundles for a week. With in normal practice, you'll spend that data in 2 or 3 days.
Yes.
But psychologically, people are actually going to buy more. Because you're going to buy, you'll say, I don't have any expiry date, I'll just use after. So people will be encouraged to buy even bigger MBs and GBs of data.
Yes.
Because now, you see, initially, people used to go for smaller data plans because of the fear that what if something were to happen and I'm not able to exhaust all this data within the period I'm given.
Yes.
So right now, instead of buying the 1 GB, say I've been buying every day, I can buy 5.
Yes.
And I know that I will use it without any pressure.
Yes.
And you see, if you don't have pressure, then you are able to put this data into more effective and efficient use.
Yes. And another question that somebody is going to ask you is that, do you like the response that we've seen actually from Safaricom? Because we just had a mention of the case, and just a couple days later, yes, there's this big announcement therefore is that we are not actually now going to have these expiry data bouquets and calls and SMSs. Do you like how fast they've responded to this?
Oh, of course, they're a business.
Yes.
If I was in Safaricom, running Safaricom, I would probably do what they have done.
Yes.
That's what I was saying. The problem is with the regulator and the government. This should have not been allowed to happen from day one.
Yes.
Now it has been allowed to happen. Safaricom is very proactive, and that's what businesses should be. They're anticipating there's going to be a lawsuit.
Yes.
It might hit them with fines and other punitive measures, and therefore.
So what we do, let's just conform immediately,
isn't
it? Before this case goes actually anywhere.
Yes.
And I like the way they're using it. They're writing on it really good.
Yes.
I mean, they were ready for it at the mention by the ICT lawyer. I mean, they just knew immediately that something big is coming here, which actually shows that we've been lacking in terms of regulatory areas around this thing.
Because remember, Vodafone cannot do this in the UK.
Isn't it? And they own the company here.
They own the company.
Why would they do it here?
It's the regulation. I mean, if you allow me, if you open a door for me, I will walk through it.
I'll walk through it.
Exactly. It?
Yes. And they didn't have a problem in that. And it actually took the ICT lawyers a move for us to realize maybe something should be happening around this area.
And of course also I'm interested to see what COFEC has been doing.
Isn't it?
You know, our consumer lobby group, you know. This is also something they would have raised from day one, you know, because it's a lobby group that is there to articulate consumers. So are they in bed with some of these people?
Pretty much, isn't it? Yeah. All right, let's just cross over therefore to another issue now. Kevin, if you can change it. Now, government workers have been directed to wear Kenya-made African coats on Fridays and public holidays in the latest onslaught on second-hand mitumba imports. In a circular from the Office of the Attorney General dated October 17, 2019, government staff have been asked to ensure the clothes are tailored to suit work environment. Okay, now even as the government looks to promote the manufacturing sector, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, KAM, has cited lack of prioritization and ineffective implementation of policies as the biggest bottlenecks affecting the manufacturing sector. While speaking at an economic forum for manufacturers, KAM chair Sachin Gudka said that the Kenya's declining competitiveness in the region is as a consequence of little or no implementation of existing policies, as well as a consistent disruption of well-intentioned development programs by each election cycle. He further said that Kenya's manufacturing sector's contribution to the GDP has averaged just 10% and has been on a declining trend, contributing 8.4% to the GDP in 2017 and 7.7% in 2018. For the country to experience the same level of growth, industrialized countries have experienced an average GDP growth of rate of 7% sustained for over 25 years. Industrialization needs to materialize. Industry players also assert that less rigid laws and regulations on labor and taxation will give room for low-cost manufacturing, thereby driving up their competitiveness. Good. Now, despite the government's commitment to growing the sector, there has been little growth, yet manufacturing is expected to contribute, now wait for that, 15% to the GDP by 2020, as envisioned in the Big Four agenda. The question is, what should be done to make this tick, and are we going to get there yet? Ambrose. KAM says we don't prioritize our manufacturing sector. I mean, we give priority to other things. Good. Now, there's Kenya-made Fridays that we want to push for. And even remember, it's not the first time. Back then, that was supposed to be the national attire. We don't know where that conversation went.
Now, you know, this is...
I see you smiling.
Yes, because you're saying made in Kenya.
Made in Kenya.
What is made in Kenya? You know, is it an onslaught on mitumba? Because look at the
yes,
at the clothes that are not mitumba, which
yes,
are new clothes.
Yes,
they are still all foreign owned. We have Deacons, Mr.
Yes,
Price, all those people,
yes,
Woolworths, all those people. Those are the new clothes. Mm-hmm. Those are the, I think, that the people who would complain
yes,
that the mitumba is hitting them, because
yes,
which Kenyan company or manufacturer makes Kenyan clothes? So when you say made in Kenya, what are we going to make?
Yes.
Even the so-called vitenges, the African attire, we still bring all these materials from Tanzania,
yes,
from the DRC, mm-hmm, from West Africa.
Yes.
So that's why I'm laughing. I'm saying there's nothing made in Kenya.
There's nothing much. Now, KAM tells us, look, that we've lost our priorities when it comes to actually improving our manufacturing sector in the Big Four agenda itself. Now, they're saying, look, if we are contributing an average 7% and you need to take it to 15%, the big question there for Ambrose this morning is, do you think we're ever going to get to the 15%?
You know, all these things are possible.
Yes.
Because they have been done before, mm-hmm, by other countries.
Yes.
There are other countries that we were ahead of them. They are now overtaken us.
Way far ahead of us.
There are some that were far behind.
Yes.
They are catching up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at what they're doing, you see, number one, you have talked about that every election cycle, there's a disruption.
Yes, and we get pegged back in all the industries.
Because, and you said that policy is not being implemented.
Yes.
You see, when you craft a policy for a country,
yes,
it should be, say, a 10-year plan, 20-year plan, 30-year plan. So irrespective of which administration comes in, they should stick to the agenda.
Yes.
Or they should just say, you know, because of new issues that have emerged,
yes,
we just need to improve on this policy.
Yes.
But it should not be put aside. You know, someone comes in and said, and because he wants to make a stamp on his own stamp, he comes up with new policies, disregards the other ones, and you see, this is something you cannot do hastily.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because you see, for policy to be done, it needs a lot of research, it needs a lot of consultation, it needs a lot of time and resources going to this.
Yes.
Now, going back to our manufacturing sector, one of the things that is a problem is power, energy. The cost of power,
yes,
is very high compared, and that's why you've seen so many countries have closed shop here and gone and set up elsewhere.
Yes,
where the cost of power is is lower, significantly lower. Now, government have been issuing what is called PPAs,
yes,
power purchase agreements, through Kenya Power to several individuals who are then expected to generate power.
Yes.
But the problem is this process has been politicized, so that people who have been given PPAs are not people who are the real investors. They are people who have political connections, they have PPAs, they start walking around looking for financing. Some even have PPAs that are 10, 15, 5 years. And this impacts on our energy production.
Yes.
Because, when you issue a PPA today, you expect that energy, say if it is 20 megawatts, 50 megawatts, is supposed to be factored in, say, in 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But if it is 10 years down the line and you issued PPAs and you factored that in your plan,
yes,
then your plan gets messed up. Look at the Turkana wind power.
Yes.
The generating company did its things on schedule. The government was not ready to evacuate that power.
Yes.
So we stayed for almost 2 years without that power being factored into
yes,
the national grid.
Yes.
So it is true that we need to get our policy right, and we need to kick out politics out of this. Number two, there is the raw materials. Right now, if you want to make clothes, and by the textile industry, for example, in Bangladesh, employs over 5 million people.
Yes.
I heard one day another politician saying that if we fixed our textile industry and even employed 5 million people,
yes,
like Bangladesh, our economy will be set. Unemployment levels will drastically go down, right? And there will be money circulating in the economy. Now, we don't grow cotton. Where is cotton grown?
But here's the thing that you need to say, though. We used to.
Yes. Yes, we used to.
Yes.
We used to have industries like Rivertex,
yes,
Ikomi, and all that.
Yes.
They all ran down.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying now. That is in the past.
Yes.
We now need solutions. The government must make deliberate efforts to have farmers start growing cotton. Because this is the raw material for textile.
This is raw material now for Kenyan men, if you want to talk about
Kenyan men.
Yes.
So let's grow cotton first. And you see, with cotton, it comes with a lot of things.
Yes.
There is the cotton seed cake that can be used to make animal feeds. There is the cotton oil that can be used to make cooking oil.
Yes.
And all those things.
Yes.
So even just by growing the cotton alone, will not just be fixing the textile industry.
Yes.
We will have other industries like our animal feeds and our cooking fat,
Yes.
If we were to do that, so we have to start give farmers incentives, seeds, the right seed. Right now we have research.
Yes.
We know which areas can be grown for cotton can thrive and all that. And then fix the cost of power.
Isn't it?
I mean, because there is no way that, say, a shirt or a T-shirt in Kenya, if it is produced at 300 shillings and someone is bringing, remember, you bring mitumba all the way, pay for cost of freight, insurance, taxes, levies, and you're still able to sell that shirt at 50 shillings. What does it tell you? It means it is been produced significantly
cheaper.
In that,
isn't it? And
yeah.
that's what we need to get to.
That's what we need to.
And that's what Karma is saying. We need to really prioritize. If we're talking about the manufacturing sector, then everything in the economy needs to be aligned to that point. And lastly on this, Ambrose, do you like the fact that every industry in the country right now that is associated to manufacturing is complaining, number one, about corporate tax, which we do know was double this time round, and also some important sectors of the economy, also in terms of manufacturing. Let's talk about the beverages and alcoholic industries. They're also complaining of the corporate tax that was also actually instead of them in the finance bill 2018 that is supposed to see corporate tax go up to 21%. Do you think that at the end of the day, even as the government tries to push for the Big Four agenda, that the biggest undoing is that because you need more money to fund your budget, at the end of the day, you're actually hurting the same players who are actually supposed to push for your agendas?
I think that is unfortunate.
Yes.
And just to stay on the manufacturing lane,
yes,
we need to start doing value addition. Why are we exporting our coffee and the raw as the berries? We're exporting the berries
and then we buy it back.
We buy it back. Number two, and see, one of the reasons is in those countries, you know, US and Europe, you cannot export something that has already been processed.
Yes,
it hits with a lot of tax. So what do you need to do? We need to start looking inwards.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Can we have someone who can process coffee, you know, the best coffee, for our use, for the domestic market?
Yes.
We are 40 million people. Number two, there is Africa. Why don't we look at Uganda, Tanzania, Zambia, and all that with the Africa trade-free area? The concept that African Union has been following up.
Yes.
We need now to start looking at newer markets and looking more inwards, because we are exporting jobs. You know, we have sisal, for example. You know, we take this sisal, export it, then import jute bags and gunny bags into the country. So one, we are exporting jobs, and number two, we are exporting raw materials for those industries, when those industries should be here.
They should be just right here.
They should just
Isn't
be
it?
right here. Yes.
All right. I just want us to take 5 minutes and look at the next issue really swiftly. Therefore, now, enhancing Kenya's cybersecurity, the government is making concerted efforts to protect citizens' data from cyber threats such as malware. According to a recent Seriano report, there has been an increase in cyber crimes in the country by 40% between 2015 and 2017. Now, the report also shows that Kenya lost 15.1 billion shillings in 2015, and in 2017, the amount rose to 21.1 billion shillings. It is against this principle, therefore, that the Secretary for ICT and Innovation, Jerome Uchieng, says that the government is now forging solutions and strategies to curb the vice. He made these remarks at the National Cybersecurity Conference currently being held at Safari Park Hotel. Now, even as the government promises this, what stands out is that the Parliament has yet to enact, as we know of it, the Data Protection Bill 2018 still stands there. Nobody wants to talk about it, and it's really big in terms of actually giving us a framework on exactly how your data should be utilized and protected, and your rights as a subject to that data mining. Ambrose, yes, we have laws that have been signed, into protecting the data and all that, but why are we adamant to actually go back to the House and get this bill signed into law?
Again, it beats me. I think probably we need to fire the lawmakers that we have and get new ones. Because and it is not just because we've not had comprehensive laws around cyber security, around data, around IT. Because you see, this has been new. It is something that is new. People still don't understand it, and before you think about it, something else comes up.
Yes.
So right now we have apps.
Yeah, we have apps
That
now.
were not
We
there.
have new applications every day.
Yes, so every day,
The
new
new
things.
platforms that keep on coming every time.
Yeah, they keep coming on.
Yes.
But we need to have a base that we need to build on.
To build on. And that's what the Data Protection Bill 2018 actually gives us,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes.
But we are very adamant to actually see it through.
And then number two,
Yes.
again, it is on government and other private businesses
Yes.
to invest in appropriate technologies.
Yes.
But on this, I think the government has tried, because you see, the government keeps our information, all our information, our birth,
Yes.
death, ID numbers,
Yes.
NSSF, NHIF, and so far, I can say this data has largely been secure.
Would you say so?
because-
Despite
because-
the rumors going around that probably Huduma would have been hacked.
Because
Yes.
I'm yet to hear of, you see,
Yes.
massive, say, impersonations
Yes.
that originated from the government.
Yes.
What we're having is the financial services sector
Yes.
that has been hit. Most of these losses.
Yes.
But you see, it could be worse, where if someone was to take your identity completely, he was to take your identity, get new documents based on your identity
Yes.
and all that.
And do all that. But do you know what really stands out, even Ambrose, as you talk about that? The Data Protection Bill 2018 actually tells us exactly what should not happen. We cannot take the government anywhere now under law if that happens. Because there is no law that says what you can do with that. Because that's what the Data Protection Bill 2018 is actually telling us. That nobody should use your data otherwise. And that the systems that the bigger data mining company should use for, you should actually be protected and should be up to speed. But right now, it's neither here nor there, because we've not actually seen the importance of us pushing this bill into law.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Our lawmakers, it seems that they're asleep.
Yes.
They need to sign this bill,
Yes.
and apart from that, this should be a continuing exercise.
Yes.
That every time something new comes up, it is legislated on immediately.
Yes.
So if some, you see, initially, there's a time I had a client who was doing translations online.
Yes.
He wanted to pay tax. He went to KRA and say, I'd like to pay tax out of this revenue that I'm getting online. But by then, KRA didn't have
They didn't have that provision, is
yeah,
it?
that provision. So they told him, report it under your income. He said, no,
Yes.
I'm employed,
Yes.
but this I do on the side.
Yes.
So on my personal, I've declared on the normal P11 forms,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But this one, I need you guys to
Tell me how
tell me
about it, isn't it?
how to how much
Yes.
do I pay and
Yes.
all that.
Yes.
And so it was an ongoing. Now I think KRA has come up with new laws and regulations. So it is something that should be ongoing.
Yes.
That if today another platform or something else comes up, then Parliament should be very proactive. You know, the Committee on ICT
Yes.
for both our houses should be very proactive and say, this has come in, these are the threats, these are the opportunities. How then do we bring this emerging technology
Yes.
under the law?
Yes.
So it is something that should be ongoing, because right now we are talking about things that should have been done long
Yes.
before, right?
Yes.
So, and you see, these are the things that impact on the economy, because no one will come to this country and invest probably when there's no such law.
When there's no such law, because those are the things that we look at when we draw in our investors.
Yes.
I'm just hopeful that they're actually going to look into this. Now, Ambrose, last one. I just want one response from you. All right. Now, have you ever gone to your favorite entertainment sport and actually bought a soda that you know very well will cost 50 shillings or 45 shillings, around 200 shillings?
Yeah, yes.
Do you think that's okay?
I think you see right now the beverages
Yes.
market
Yes.
and is so segmented.
Yes.
You know, it is so the people who are suffering are the people in the bottom
Yes.
rung of the ladder.
Yes.
Because there are people who are buying their beers at 500, 300 a bottle.
300, 196, it depends with where you go.
And they're fine. But the people that we should look at
Yes.
is that common mwananchi down there.
Isn't
Because
it?
if you price him out, that's when now you start having these brews that make people go blind, people die,
Perfect.
and all that.
Yes.
So for me, the government should focus on those people.
Isn't it?
And say, okay, for your brews that are targeted to you, we will not tax them.
Yes.
But someone who is comfortable buying a bottle of beer at 500 bob, even if 200 shillings of it is taxed,
Yes.
he will not feel it.
Yes.
And even the seller will not feel it.
Yes.
Yes.
Ambrose, this is what I think as I come to shake your hand as we clear. We should come up with a proper way of telling anybody who's selling beer in this country that this is a set price, regardless whether I'm at Kempinski, whether I'm at Villa Rosa or whatever it is. I need to buy, you need to sell it at 250 shillings because we think within that range you can make your profit.
Then all these 5 stars and all, they will, people go to say 5 stars for the prices, right? So if it is a 200 bob and you want everybody to come in, then you'll chase away your market.
Pretty much, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, that's exactly how we end Business AM today. Good. No. Actually, Metro Economic Review. Wow. We still have more to come. Guess what? We take a short break. Once we come back, we'll be talking about what employers really need in 2019 or in this century to say so. Good morning.